Welcome back to my channel, Celebes. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Why Sally Field still won't watch this one episode? She made it in 1967. Sally Field was born Sally Margaret Field on November 6, 1946 in Pasadena, California. She learned about movies and TV shows when she was very young because her family worked in entertainment. Her mother, Margaret Field, was an actress. Her stepfather, Jock Mahoney, was a famous stuntman and actor. Being around these people made her love acting and helped start her amazing career that would last many years. Field first became famous in the 1960s by being in funny TV shows that showed how charming and happy she was. She became even more popular with The Flying Nun from 1967 to 1970. In this show, she played Sister Bertrill, a young nun who was so light that wind could make her fly around. While these TV shows made her famous and loved by many people, they also made it hard for her to get serious acting jobs. People only saw her as a funny TV star, not as a real actress. But Field really wanted to prove she could do more than just comedy shows. She decided to study acting with Lee Strasberg, a very famous acting teacher at a special acting school. This hard training in a type of acting called method acting helped her get much better at acting. It prepared her to take on harder and more important roles. All this hard work paid off when she got the most important role of her career in a TV movie called Sybil in 1976. In this movie, she played a woman who had 16 different personalities living inside her mind. This role was very hard emotionally, and she had to act like 16 completely different people. Her amazing acting in this movie won her an Emmy Award and made critics and other actors finally respect her as a serious actress. Field's move to being a movie star happened when she won an Academy Award for her role in Norma Ray in 1979. In this movie, she played a Southern woman who worked in a textile factory and became a union organizer. The role dealt with politics and showed deep human emotions. Field's passionate acting really connected with audiences everywhere. When she won the Oscar for Best Actress, her emotional speech became very famous. She said, "You like me. You really like me." This became one of the most memorable moments in Oscar history. Even though people often quote it wrong and take it out of context, what she said showed how happy and relieved she was to finally be recognized as a serious artist. Her career kept getting better throughout the 1980s and 1990s with many critically praised and successful movies. She won a second Academy Award for Places in the Heart in 1984, where she played a widow trying to save her farm during the Great Depression. Field showed incredible emotional range in this role, showing both weakness and strength at the same time. Her performances in beloved movies like Steel Magnolias in 1989, Mrs. Doubtfire in 1993, and Forrest Gump in 1994, where she played the mother of Tom Hanks's main character, showed how versatile she was and how she stayed important in Hollywood. Besides acting, Sally Field has also tried directing movies and fighting for causes she believes in. She directed the well-reviewed movie Beautiful in 2000 and episodes of different TV series, proving she was good behind the camera, too. In her personal life, she has been a passionate supporter of women's rights, LGBTQ+ equality, and health awareness. She has publicly shared her experiences with a bone disease called osteoporosis and continues to speak out about health and wellness issues, especially those that affect women. Her activism comes from caring about others and having a strong sense of what's right and wrong. Besides her movie work, Field returned to TV with memorable roles in well-known series like Here and Brothers and Sisters. Despite ending their relationship, the two tried to get back together several times, dating on and off for another 2 years before finally splitting up for good in 1982. Reynolds later said Field was the love of his life. While Field has thought back with honesty and clarity about the difficulties and emotional cost of their time together. In 1984, Field found love again when she married her second husband, producer Alan Graceman. Their relationship offered a different kind of stability and partnership based on mutual respect and shared goals. Together, they had a son, Sam Graceman, born in 1987. Sam grew up in a household shaped by his mother's activism, intelligence, and compassion. Sam has chosen his own path in life, including writing and producing. In later years, Field has been a strong supporter of LGBTQ+ rights and has proudly stood by Sam, who is openly gay, speaking openly about the importance of love, acceptance, and equality in both public forums and personal interviews. Field and Graceman stayed married for 10 years before divorcing in 1994. While their marriage ultimately ended, Field has continued to put her role as a mother above everything else, keeping close relationships with all three of her sons. Throughout her life, her family has remained the most important thing, both keeping her grounded through the ups and downs of Hollywood and inspiring her to use her fame for good. Her journey through love, loss, and motherhood has not only shaped who she is as a person, but also made her performances have the emotional depth and realness for which she is famous. Even after decades in the entertainment industry and a career that includes multiple Academy Awards, iconic roles, and critical praise, there remains one particular moment in Sally Field's early career that she continues to avoid looking back at. The year was 1967, and Field was starring in The Flying Nun, a TV sitcom that put her at the center of a concept she often found both silly and, personally, heartbreaking. Although the show was commercially successful and became a pop culture favorite of the late 1960s, Field has repeatedly said she was uncomfortable with the overall tone of the series. Feeling that it made her talent seem unimportant and locked her into a character she struggled to break free from for years. Among all the episodes of The Flying Nun, there is one in particular, Season 1, Episode 10, called With Love from Irving, that Field reportedly cannot bring herself to watch even decades later. The episode focuses on Sister Bertrill's innocent attempt to help a lovesick pelican named Irving deliver notes to another pelican, only for the situation to turn into comedic chaos. Though meant to be lighthearted and whimsical, Field has talked about how the episode represented everything she disliked about her position in Hollywood at the time. She was typecast, silenced, and expected to fit into a sugary sweet image that didn't reflect her inner ambition or artistic identity. The episode's over-the-top premise featuring a flying nun trying to act as a bird's romantic messenger was particularly embarrassing for her, especially at a time when she was wanting more serious, realistic roles. What made this episode especially difficult for Field beyond the script itself was the emotional state she was in while filming it. At the time, she was barely 21 years old, still dealing with the aftermath of Gidget's cancellation and under huge pressure from Columbia Pictures. The network wanted her to smile and accept her fate as a comedic TV star. Field has often said she felt invisible and underestimated during that period, and With Love from Irving became a painful reminder of how far removed she was from the kind of serious, life-changing acting she longed to do. It wasn't just the bird or the costume. It was the growing realization that she was losing control of her own story. In her book, In Pieces, Field talks about her time in The Flying Nun with honesty and openness. She tells how the physical discomfort of wearing the stiff, heavy nun's habit in very hot weather, combined with the emotional discomfort of feeling artistically held back, made filming difficult. During the filming of this particular episode, she was asked to do increasingly silly physical comedy, including chasing the pelican through the convent and making exaggerated flying motions. While audiences may have laughed, Field remembers the experience as one that made her feel foolish and empty inside. She feared that directors and producers would forever see her as nothing more than the quirky, adorable girl next door in a habit with wings. Over the years, when fans bring up The Flying Nun with fond memories, Field smiles politely, but stays away from talking about specifics. Friends and colleagues have reportedly urged her to watch the series again and appreciate how beloved it was, but she remains resistant, particularly to With Love from Irving. The emotional scars from that period in her career run deep. And for Field, watching that episode is not simply a matter of seeing herself in a silly costume. It's a vivid reminder of how long it took her to earn respect in an industry that put her in a box from the very beginning. Her refusal to watch that single episode has over time become a symbol of her struggle for artistic freedom. It represents a young woman's fight to be seen for who she truly was. A serious actress capable of raw, emotional depth, not just a TV novelty in a flying habit. While Sally Field has gone on to prove herself in unforgettable roles in Norma Ray, Places in the Heart, Steel Magnolias, Forrest Gump, and beyond, that one episode remains locked away in her memory. Not because of shame, but because it reminds her of a time when her voice had not yet found its power, and when her dreams seemed so far away from the reality of her situation.